Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to you. Good evening to the Honorable Minister, Siviwe Kwagube, the Deputy Minister, Dr. Regina Mhaule. Good evening to the Director General, Matanzima Mweli. And ladies and gentlemen, and our esteemed guests, our top achievers, good evening. My name is Tsegohajo Moagi. Welcome to the announcement of the National Senior Certificate Examination results for the class of 2024. Allow me to take this opportunity to acknowledge our sign language interpreters. We are joined by Nicoline Dutoy, Pearl Mbolekwa, Megan Greaves, and last but not least, Melinda Buerta. We would like to extend a huge thank you to SABC, the public broadcaster, for hosting this broadcast. We welcome ENCA, where I used to be a reporter, and a welcome as well to Newsroom Africa, where I used to be an anchor. I'm currently a presenter on Power 98.7. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further waste of time, let me humbly ask Ms. Dineo Molefe, the Chief Financial Officer for MTN South Africa, to come to the podium. But before she does so, I would like to take a moment to highlight the significant role that MTN, through the MTN Foundation, has played in the education and youth development sectors. This year marks the 5th year of MTN hosting and sponsoring the National Senior Certificate, the Matric results announcement, awarding the top best performing learners in the country, and further provide provincial prizes for the best performing learners in each province. As a proud sponsor of the 2024 NSC Matric results announcement, please join me in welcoming Ms. Dineo Molefe, the Chief Financial Officer for MTN South Africa, to share a few words and tell us more about MTN's commitment to advancing our education sector. Please put your hands together for Ms. Molefe.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Honorable Minister of Basic Education, Director General, Deputy Minister, esteemed members of the Department of Basic Education, parents, educators, and our outstanding top achievers. Good evening, everyone. It is an honor for us as MTN to be part of this momentous occasion. It's an opportunity to join the nation in celebrating excellence, perseverance, and shared vision for a brighter South Africa, for a brighter future for our young people. The Department of Education has been a partner of ours for the past 5 years in hosting this wonderful occasion. Today, we honor the incredible achievements of the matriculants who have passed in 2024, this class of 2024. We recognize not just their academic excellence, but the resilience through which they achieved these results and the determination that has brought them where they are now. Let me first start by extending my heartfelt congratulations to our top 39 learners. You are a source of pride, not only to your families, your parents, and your schools, but also to the nation of South Africa. Your achievements represent the highest standard of dedication and discipline, and they inspire us all to dream bigger and higher. We also acknowledge the invaluable role that educators, parents, society at large, and family members have played in supporting you on this journey. The guidance that they have given have been an encouragement to you and provided you the support that have provided us the foundation that you needed in order to pass. At MTN, education is not just another corporate social responsibility program. It is indeed a flagship initiative that embodies our purpose of creating shared value and advancing the progress of communities that we serve. Education is, according to MTN, a cornerstone of sustainable development for our nation. It provides opportunities for self-reliance in an economic manner, fosters innovation, and strengthens our society and human capital. That is why we have made it a priority to support the improvement of learner performance, teacher experience, and access to quality education for all. Our commitment is built on a belief in the transformative power of education. It is a belief that every learner, regardless of their background or circumstance, should have the opportunity to access the tools, resources, and technology needed to succeed. In this spirit, MTN launched the data-free MTN Online School. It is a digital platform that provides access to quality learning resources for over 320,000 learners across the country. This platform is more than a website. It is a bridge that connects young people to opportunities and levels the playing field for learners, regardless of where they are in the region of the country. We are also proud of initiatives like Connecting Every Child campaign, which ensures that learners are equipped with modern tools to navigate a rapidly changing world. These efforts are part of our broader mission to democratize education through technology, helping to close the digital divide and ensure that no learner is left behind. Our partnership with the Department of Basic Education is a powerful example of collaboration for impact. Over the past 4 years, we have worked closely to support the National Senior Certificate announcements, to celebrate learner achievements and contribute to the improvement of our education system in South Africa. Together, we are not just recognizing excellence, we are creating a legacy for this country. This partnership reflects our shared vision of empowering our young people with the tools that they need to be successful in the future. At MTN, we strive to be more than a telecommunications company. We are a caring organization that is deeply rooted in the communities which we serve. Our investment in education is reflective of this ethos. We continue to align our efforts with the national priorities and thereby making a meaningful contribution to the lives of learners, of teachers, and the communities which we serve. To our top achievers, today is a celebration of your excellence, your hard work, your commitment, and your dedication. It is also a beginning of a new chapter for you as learners, but also for your families. You have the tools at your hand to create a better future for yourselves, for your communities and your families and your parents. I encourage you to dream big, to remain curious, to continue to learn, to never stop learning, and to continue to make us proud as a country and as a people. To my fellow stakeholders, corporate South Africa, I call on all of us to strengthen our efforts in supporting education. Together we can create an inclusive, equitable society where young people can thrive, where education can help all of us to create a sustainable society where human capital is strong, human capital thrives, and our economy is able to grow in a sustainable manner. In closing, I want to thank the Minister of Basic Education, the Deputy Minister, the Department of Basic Education, and everyone who has contributed to the success of this partnership. Together we are shaping a tomorrow that we can all be proud of, making impact in a meaningful manner. Congratulations to the class of 2024. I thank you.
Another round of applause, please, for MTN SA CFO, Ms. Dineo Molefe. Thank you very much, ma'am. Now, let me take this opportunity then to request the Deputy Minister of Basic Education, Dr. Regina Mhaule, to approach the podium to deliver the opening remarks. Now, we've often known this, and I often do say this, that Dr. Mhaule is no stranger to this particular sector of basic education. A teacher by profession, the DM has been in the basic education department since 2019. Let's give her a wonderful round of applause.
Thank you so much, Seho. Program Director, thank you. Greetings to the Honorable Minister of Basic Education. Greetings to ministers that have come to grace this occasion today. I can see Minister of Higher Education has come to receive her learners, her students, normal learners. Minister of Social Development came to attest and say, yeah, my children, my contribution does not go unnoticed. Premiers of Gauteng, Premier of Free State, the Speaker of the City of Johannesburg, the DG in the Presidency, the DG in the Department of Basic Education, and other DGs that are present today here. I know that today it's a full house. Minister decided, MECs, how can I forget my colleagues? MECs, greetings to you. And Minister has decided to invite your district directors, the ground forces of the sector, to be here today. We really want to appreciate. So let me start by thanking the CFO of MTN South Africa for welcoming us today here. I wish to welcome again all ministers, deputy ministers, my colleagues. I know we work together as a team. Minister of Basic Education, as deputy ministers, we hold hands and work together as one team. MECs, DGs, CEOs, CEOs of various companies and organizations, teacher union leaders, the leadership of the school governing bodies, associations, professional bodies, civil society, and all role players in the sector. Not forgetting universities that are here today, parents, and all stakeholders. You are all very important, because without you coming here, this event would not have been an event. Earlier this morning, we met the top achievers and their parents. Let me welcome them again. These are our stars. Dinalechana South Africa. Today we are gathered to announce the 2024 National Senior Certificate Examination results. We are announcing these results in the context of what the National Development Plan 2030 enjoins us to do. That by 2030, South Africans should have access to education and training of the highest quality, leading to significantly improved learner outcomes. The performance of South African learners in international standardized tests should be comparable to the performance of learners from countries at a similar level of development and with similar levels of access. It's without doubt that the 2020 academic year will be remembered as the year that not only presented major health challenges, Dr. Lom, but a year when the entire world was engulfed by the novel COVID-19 pandemic. The Matric class of 2024, who are the reason for our gathering today here, were in grade 8. They just entered the secondary education at a time when this crisis took place. The government, with its education departments and its strategic partners, worked tirelessly to strike a balance between saving lives and the 2020 academic year. It is then when the department was accused of committing a genocide. We'll all recall it was in the media everywhere, and were called unprintable names for insisting that schools must open at the height of COVID-19. We were told that other countries were cancelling schooling for 2020, and that we should follow suit. The department at that time stood firm and resolved to find ways of opening schools safely without risking lives. We are here today to celebrate the 2020 grade 8 class who are exiting the basic education system to join the higher education, because we fought to protect their future. I thought, yes, And it affected them when they were doing grade 8 and the curriculum was trimmed. Some topics were not even covered. When they were doing grade 9, curriculum was trimmed, and grade 9 is a grade that determines the future of our learners. Because when they arrive at grade 10, that's when they start to specialize. So I thought I should remind the nation of this journey, and more specifically where we come from with this special group of learners. Owing to South Africa's divided past and the continued negative impact of socio-economic realities of learning outcomes, the improvement programs we introduce, implement, and monitor are an attempt to mitigate the negative impact and learning deficit of learner progress. Our programs continue to support learners who are at risk of underperforming and possible dropouts, and learners who are moderate to high achievers. This differentiated approach aims to address both content deficiencies that may prevent learners from achieving good educational outcomes, as well as providing support to moderate and high achievers to improve their performance, thereby improving the quality of learning outcomes. Program Director, in the last week leading to the release of the 2024 NSC examination results, we were exposed to a rather unfortunate and baseless debate on the pass requirements for the National Senior Certificate. This department and respected scholars have sought to clarify this matter and will continue to do so until the public understands it. At the outset, I must discourage spreading misleading information regarding the National Senior Certificate pass requirements. In a nutshell, all that needs to be said is that 30%, which people are singing and it became a nice song and some are even joining the song without understanding the notes, is not a pass mark in this country. And it has never been, and it will never be. If any candidate gets an aggregate of 30% in all subjects written, that candidate will surely not proceed to the next grade. Surely, if that candidate gets 30% aggregate in all subjects, will not proceed, will be regarded as failed. There are no ways about it. It's just as it is. There are myths, fallacies, and misinformation that get peddled year after year, almost by same people on this matter. As the department welcome constructive criticisms and will continue to engage anyone who wants to make a meaningful contribution. The NSC pass rate requirements are as follows. Now I'm teaching the nation. Admission to bachelor studies. I know, Minister, you said you must not say bachelor pass. Admission to bachelor studies. A candidate must obtain at least 40% in his or her home language. And this is compulsory. If you obtain anything less than 40% in your home language, you will not proceed to the next level. Must obtain at least 50% for the candidates for 4 other subjects, excluding life orientation. Must obtain then at least 30% for the language of learning, which is not your mother tongue, it's not your language of teaching, LOLT, of the higher education institution. Must obtain at least 30% for 1 other subject and must pass at least 6 of the 7 subjects. Then you shall have obtained an admission to bachelor pass. Then for admission to diploma studies, a candidate must obtain at least 40% home language. And again, it's compulsory. Anything less than that is a fail. must obtain 40% for 3 other subjects, excluding life orientation, must obtain at least 30% for the language of learning and teaching of the higher education institution, and must pass at least 6 of the 7 subjects. Pass with higher certificates. And we're happy to say, year after year, Honorable Premier Gauteng, year after year, it is moving. In the past, most passes were on the higher certificate and NSC. But now, most passes are moving from NSC and higher certificate to bachelor and diplomas. So, for a candidate to obtain that higher certificate must obtain at least 40%. Mother tongue, there's no compromise. It's a language, it's your home language. You speak that language at home. And that's why in South Africa, we promote home language teaching. That candidate must obtain 40%, and it's also compulsory, like in all the rest, like I indicated. Obtain at least 30% for the language of learning and teaching of the higher education institution. Must obtain at least 40% of 2 other subjects. Then can obtain 30% for 3 other subjects. Then that, and in all must pass at least 6 of the 7 subjects. And that one will be regarded as having passed with higher certificate. So I thank the class, my class, for listening attentively. I know that detractors will continue to talk about 30%, to say, yeah, they can say whether they've improved. I don't know, Minister will tell us if there is an improvement. Yeah, but it's only 30%, it's 30%. There's nothing like that. We are proud to have these young ones here who can show that commitment, dedication, giving yourself time to study can yield results. I want to thank our strategic partners, teacher unions, governing body associations, business partners, NECT, our statutory body, Umalusi and SABC, a word of gratitude also to researchers whose work we cannot do without. Our sister departments, South Africans who work together with us, who have made the stability and the improvement of the sector their responsibility. A big thank you to MTN for sponsoring this event. We also convey our appreciation to all our sponsors whose branding appears on the screen. I think now the branding will appear. Only MTN. We have so many other sponsors other than MTN, but MTN is the main sponsor. We thank you for your continued support. It's not for the department, but for the learners whose lives you impact, not only today, but for many years to come. Lastly, I want to thank our teachers. They made it a point to cover all the topics which I said the curriculum was trimmed. They made sure that our learners, these learners, attended even on Saturdays, Sundays to cover the work that was missed when they were doing grade 8 and 9. If we can all recall that they were not attending every day even when they were doing grade 8. Some were attending twice a week, some were attending 3 days in a week. So this is what happened. Lastly, schools will open tomorrow, 15 January. Tomorrow, schools have opened today, man. Principals are in schools. Principals are in schools today, and teachers are in schools ready to welcome the learners. SGPs are cleaning schools. and want to thank them, the SGPs. We have seen them all around the country, cleaning schools, preparing our schools for their learners. Want to thank them. So on the 15th, day after tomorrow, after the MECs shall have announced the results, then schools are opening. We call on all of you to support the education of our children, to support them, and I hope we are all ready for that, and we have made all the preparations to ensure another successful academic year. To those learners who may not have made it, it's not the end of the world. There's a chance, there's another chance. This department is a caring department. You will be given another chance. To parents, I'm saying, don't push your children to the limit which you have never reached yourself. So, thank you.
Thank you so much to the Deputy Minister. Saying parents must not push their children to limits they themselves have never reached. Thank you for that, DM. So we'll of course be calling up the Minister of Basic Education, the moment that we've all been waiting for. Minister Sivue Kwahube will be giving us the keynote address that we have been waiting for. We're in there somewhere. If you listen really carefully, you should be able to hear the pass rate that many people have been waiting for. It's her big announcement. It's the first big announcement for the NEC results. So let's please put a warm round of applause for Minister Sivue Kwahube.
The awareness around foodborne illnesses following several deaths.
Thank you very much, Program Director. To ministers and deputy ministers, including my own Deputy Minister, Dr. Mhaule, Directors General led by the Director General in the Presidency, members of the Portfolio Committee on Basic Education and the Select Committee on Basic Education, members of our Provincial Executive Council responsible for education in our country, representatives of Umalusi, members of our educator unions, representatives of school governing body associations, esteemed guests, colleagues, district directors, educators, parents and learners, members of the media, and to the South Africans watching at home, a very good evening to all of you. It is an incredible privilege to stand before you today as we mark an important day in the life of our nation, the release of the 2024 National Senior Certificate results. This occasion is not only a moment to recognize the accomplishment of our learners, but also an opportunity for us as a country to reflect on the health of our basic education system as we start the new academic year. It is a pivotal moment in which we must reflect on the quality of the education outcomes we are achieving and what we need to do to expand access to quality in the schooling system for all our learners. As we are on the eve of the 31st anniversary of South Africa's democratic transition in 1994, we must ask ourselves whether we are giving meaningful expression to the constitutional right of every person to receive basic education. South Africa's journey since 1994 has been one of rebuilding, of reimagining, and recommitting to the ideals of a free, democratic, and prosperous country where every person has an equal chance to build and live a life of dignity. And education has been at the heart of this journey. Sisuka kude singumZantsi Afrika. Sisuka kwixesha lobandlululo apho imfundo ephucukileyo yayingafunyanwa ngabantu abamnyama. Apho urhulumente wobandlululo wayedodobalisa izinga lemfundo yabantu abafana nam nawe. 31 years later, we get to change that. We get to rewrite the story of South Africa's education system and indeed its very future. The right to basic education must be understood in the context of its aim, which is to ensure the full development of our humanity. I believe it is in this context, and it is why our first democratically elected president, Dr. Nelson Mandela, described education as the most powerful weapon you can use to transform the world. Today, as we reflect on the progress and the challenges of the last 3 decades, we do so in honor of people like former President Mandela and other architects of democratic South Africa's education system, such as the recently departed Professor Sibusiso Bengu, whom we laid to rest last Friday. Allow me to take this moment to pay tribute to Professor Bengu, who served as democratic South Africa's first Minister of Education, whose work in 1994 laid the foundation for a new education system that reflects the values enshrined in our Constitution. Professor Bengu was resolute in his belief that education is not only a right, but a vehicle for reconciliation, redress, and empowerment. We owe him a debt of gratitude for the transformative policies and the laws that were introduced during his tenure, which continue to shape our sector today. It is on his shoulders that I stand, and on those of other ministers who've led this portfolio, including Ministers Kada Asmal, Dr. Naledi Pandor, and Ms. Angie Mochecha. Their work has contributed to advancing the principles of access, of redress, of equity, efficiency, quality, and inclusivity in our basic education system. I'm committed to building on these successes and every day so that we can move closer and closer to universal access to quality in our schooling system. Today, while we celebrate the achievements of the class of 2024, we must also reflect on the health of our basic education system. A healthy schooling system is not measured solely by matric results, but a comprehensive set of indicators that reflect its quality and its equity. In the basic education sector, we currently have 13.5 million learners, with over 740,000 of those in independent schools. We have over 460,000 educators who are responsible for educating the next generation of leaders. And to them, we owe a debt of gratitude. I'd like us to give a hand of applause to our educators. We have close to 25,000 schools, 900 circuit offices, 75 education districts, and 9 provincial education departments. From these numbers, we can clearly see that education is a massive undertaking and truly an important function of a democratic government. However, I must say this is not only the work of government. Education is fundamentally a social undertaking, shaping individuals and communities for a better future. And that can never be the task of government alone. It must be a whole of society undertaking where government, educators, their unions, SGBs, parents, business, civil society work collaboratively to improve the quality of our education outcomes. When society invests collectively in education, it fosters greater equity and inclusivity. By jointly committing our resources and expertise, we can address systemic challenges and ensure all learners reach their full potential. Together, we have the responsibility to create an education system that uplifts individuals, that produces the skills needed to grow the economy, and that strengthens our nation. As a country, we've been largely successful in improving access to basic education. We now have 98% of all children between the ages of 7 and 15 years old enrolled in schools. This gives us a near universal attendance rate for all learners in grade 1 to 9. However, with grade R becoming part compulsory of school attendance with effect from this school year, more work needs to be done urgently to ensure that we expand access to basic education from grade R. This is no small feat and will require significant planning and investment and a renewed commitment to the well-being of our children. While good progress has been made in expanding education access, we must now turn our attention to improving the quality of the education that our learners receive. Learners must leave our schools with an education and a qualification that allows them to pursue higher education opportunities or enter the job market to live lives of dignity. When we assess the quality that our schooling system is able to offer, we must consider various indicators of quality beyond those offered just by these results tonight. The recently released international benchmarking studies, including TIMSS and SACMEC studies, and our very own systemic evaluation results show that learners in grade 5 to 9 significantly underperform in relation to their global counterparts in maths and science. This also shows that too many of our learners are being left behind for reading, for meaning by the time they get to grade 4. Put simply, this means that too many learners are progressing through the basic education without mastering the foundational skills, particularly in literacy and numeracy, which are critical for performing well in gateway subjects such as maths and science. These deficits then accumulate over time, limiting our learners' ability to succeed in higher grades and in these gateway subjects, diminishing their prospects of accessing further education and employment opportunity. And so this trend manifests itself in the decrease in the enrollment in subjects such as science and maths, accounting and economics, which are all subjects that are critical for the nation's ability to advance in science, innovation, and development. And so, colleagues and guests, in response to these trends, the Department of Basic Education and I will embark on an urgent strategic reorientation of the system towards strengthening foundational learning. Furthermore, provinces, districts, and schools must put together plans to arrest the decline of enrollment in critical subjects. The systemic interventions that we will undertake in this regard include expanding access to quality early child development for learners before they enter the basic education system, improving the quality of teaching and learning in the foundation phase. I believe that this strategic reorientation towards ECD and foundation phase will improve the quality of learning outcomes, and we'll be able to see it throughout the system. And in doing so, we can expect to see more learners moving through our schooling with greater confidence to take on and to succeed in subjects that set them on the path of personal and professional success. I would now like to come to the business of the day. You've been waiting patiently, but these things are important. The National Senior Certificate results of the class of 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2013, we saw approximately 1.2 million learners start grade 1. Of these learners, approximately 740,000 enrolled as full-time candidates in grade 12 in 2024. Now, as the DM pointed out, I too must give a small lesson here. I must point out that this does not mean that those who did not enroll for grade 12 in 2024 have dropped out of the education system. This has often led to a misconception that these learners are lost to the system, which is often not the case. Firstly, learners have a choice after grade 9 to switch to technical and vocational education training colleges, and indeed a number of them do so. Secondly, learners at different times progress to different grades, with some moving to become part-time candidates and some changing subjects. And furthermore, learners migrate from public schools to private schools and sometimes often write IAB or Sakai exams. So these learners are therefore still part of the system, just not part of our class of 2024 as full-time candidates who wrote their exams through the DBE. We cannot therefore classify all of those learners who entered the schooling system in 2013 but who did not enroll in 2024 as having dropped out. This would be a misrepresentation. However, as a sector, we must develop systems with the necessary sophistication to track each and every learner throughout the entire schooling system and the higher education and training system to ensure that we are better placed to account accurately for each and every one of our learners. The class of 2024 entered grade 8 in 2020 at the height of COVID-19 pandemic, which was a huge disruption to teaching and learning globally. They also entered grade 9, a key subject selection phase for grade 10s to 12 during the pandemic. The class of 2024 reflects the resilience of the protea, a South African national flower and a symbol of renewal and strength. The protea thrives in adversity, designed to survive wildfires. After the flames have passed, the nutrient-rich ash that they leave behind nourishes the soil, triggering a release of seeds that rejuvenate the protea flowers, and they blossom even brighter than before. And so similarly, the Matric class of 2024 has faced immense challenges, that from COVID-19 that disrupted their learning, to the evolving budget pressures being felt by various provincial departments and schools, to social ills such as violence, gangsterism, and this new trend of protection fee rackets terrorizing our schools. Despite these challenges, we have seen the highest rate of learners enrolled for grade 12 in 2024 writing the NSC exams since the start of COVID-19. Siyaziqenya ngeklasi ka-2024 basebenzile ebunzimeni. Approximately 97% of learners who enrolled in grade 12 in 2024 ultimately wrote the NSC in this year. Like the protea, the class of 2024 seems to have drawn strength from adversity, emerging more determined and ready to flourish, proving that from the harshest conditions, greatness can bloom. We have also seen that the level of confidence amongst grade 12 learners to sit for and complete exams has increased at higher levels as a result of having covered the curriculum on time by our educators. This was made possible by the collective efforts of the DBE, the provincial education departments, our district's teams, schools, educators, our parents who are here today and who are at home, and of course, our VIPs tonight, the learners themselves. Some of these key initiatives driven by DBE that supported the class of 2024 included personalized learning interventions, additional teaching and support, socio-emotional care to provide further support services. Provinces rolled out extra face-to-face tuition sessions, Saturday catch-up programs, and extended school hours to ensure adequate revision of key subjects. These initiatives targeted learners who were struggling to cope with the curriculum content due to the earlier disruptions, focusing on key subjects. In addition to classroom-based interventions, learners have also benefited from extensive support in the form of revision materials, past question papers, and online resources which have been made available through our public-private partnerships with stakeholders such as Vodacom, MTN, the National Collaboration Trust, and other corporate partners. In 2024, we saw the number of full-time candidates writing the NSC exams increase from 691,000 in 2023 to over 700,000 in 2024. We also saw the number of learners with special education needs who wrote the NSC exams increasing from 5,200 in 2023 to over 6,400 in 2024. Furthermore, we saw over 500,000 learners who are beneficiaries of social grants writing the NSC exams in 2024, approximately 13,000 more than in 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, the NSC examination process is an incredible logistical undertaking involving 7,000 examination centers, over 160 question papers, 9.7 million scripts, over 72,000 invigilators, and over 52,000 markers, and over 180 marking centers. It is surely one of the greatest logistical undertakings for our country after the general and municipal elections. After all, the IEC only has 2 days to roll out the elections, and we have an entire month to write our exams, get them marked and processed. I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere and heartfelt thanks to each and every departmental official, every educator, invigilator, and marker who contributed countless hours to make the 2024 NSC examination process a success and who worked tirelessly to protect the integrity of this process. I would also like to pay tribute to those markers who sadly passed away during the marking process. Lala Ngoxolo, Mukibelo Evidence Maisela, Blessed Mtetwa, Julia Jonas, Nawe Lawrence Pagiso Mufukeng. May your families be comforted by the knowledge that you dedicated your life to the service of your country. We will carry you in our memories. Program Director, it would be amiss of me to not to acknowledge the various government departments and organs of states who have supported the 2024 NSC examination process. This included, for example, efforts by many to secure our examination marking centers against the effects of inclement weather, as well as water and electricity supply issues. I would also like to express my sincerest thanks and gratitude to Umalusi for the important role that they play each year in quality assuring the NSC exams. Can we please give them a round of applause? Umalusi moderates and verifies each step in the examination cycle. As a country, we can be proud of them for ensuring that the final outcomes are valid, reliable, and credible. After quality assuring the 2024 results, I'm happy to report that as of this afternoon, Umalusi has approved these results and has endorsed their release. Siyabulela ngendlela esisebenzisene ngayo ne-regulator yethu. The healthy checks and balances allow for results that are underscored by integrity and quality. It must also be noted that this does not mark the end of the examination cycle, as learners are entitled to apply for remarks and recounts once they've received their results. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 NSC results show that our schooling system is maturing, but there's still much more work to be done to improve our outcomes. Let us reflect on the social justice principle of quality. If we are to measure the quality of education outcomes in the NSC exams, we need to look at the number of passes which allow admission to bachelor studies achieved by this class of 2024. The bachelor admission pass is a prerequisite to apply for access to a degree course at a university or a university of technology. In this speech, we will refer to these as bachelor passes. I am pleased to announce that in the class of 2024, nearly half of our learners who wrote the NSC exams received a bachelor pass. .8% of our candidates qualified for admission to bachelor studies, which is a significant improvement from last year's 40% and represents the highest number of bachelor passes in recent history. This is a 6.9% increase from last year. More importantly, this is a critical benchmark of readiness for higher education and training, and it's a critical benchmark for quality. In 2014, we produced just over 150,000 bachelor passes. In just a decade, we've more than doubled that number with over 337,000 bachelor passes. It is also encouraging to see that some of our provinces with the highest numbers of learners are achieving high bachelor passes. In 2024, I'm pleased to announce that KwaZulu-Natal achieved the highest number of bachelor passes with over 84,000. KwaZulu-Natal received 84,000 bachelor passes. Straight on their heels is Gauteng with over 66,000 bachelor passes. And right after them is the Eastern Cape with over 45,000 bachelor passes. I'm also incredibly encouraged by the fact that approximately 67% of our bachelor passes achieved in 2024 come from quintile 1 to 3 schools, which are typically our poorest communities. This percentage represents a massive increase from 2023. And colleagues, this means that our poorer communities are producing more and more candidates who can become doctors, who can become engineers, who can become accountants, and who can change the lot of their lives and their families. And this is the power of education to transform lives and uplift families from poverty that Utatu Mandela was talking about. There appears to be a noticeable link between Access Minister of Social Development, you are here tonight. There appears to be a noticeable link between those learners and those candidates who have access to social grants and learner performance, something that requires further investigation. This speaks to the importance of social protection that is afforded to the poorest of South Africans. It is also important to note that girl learners performed better than boy learners in obtaining bachelor passes. This performance trend is also visible in other parts of the schooling system, with boy learners staying longer in the system than girl learners. While we are succeeding in reducing the historical challenge faced by the girl child in obtaining an education, our interventions do need to be strengthened and broadened so that we do not leave the boy child behind. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2024 achieved an impressive number of over 319,000 distinctions. This represents a massive increase from last year, and some of these increases were seen in key subjects, including maths. I'm also pleased to report, and congratulations to all the MECs, I'm also pleased to report that every province has increased the number of distinctions received in 2023. KwaZulu-Natal was once more top performing province in terms of percentage of candidates obtaining distinctions. Coming second was the Western Cape in the most number of learners receiving distinctions, followed by our host province, Gauteng. Notable progress was made by Mpumalanga and Limpopo in this regard, where we saw improvements from 2023. Maths and science are gateway subjects that are essential for South Africa's economic development, and in 2024, 69% of learners passed maths, which is a massive increase from last year in 2023. However, physical sciences, whilst 75% of learners have passed, has seen a slight decrease from the last year. And so while the number and percentage of learners achieving distinctions in maths has increased in 2024 from 2023, the number and percentage of learners receiving distinctions in physical sciences has dropped. The improvement in performance in maths is encouraging. However, the decreasing participation rates in these key subjects and the decrease in performance in physical science highlights an urgent need to improve foundational literacy and numeracy to ensure that our schooling system produces learners who are confident enough and capable enough to choose and excel in maths and science throughout their schooling career. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm also pleased to note that in 2024, we saw more of our high schools achieving a pass rate in the NSC exams that between 80% and 100%. Last year, the number of high schools achieving this was approximately 4,400, and this year, 5,300 of our schools are in the 80 to 100% benchmark. And this is significant because this represents 78% of our high schools, which are achieving between 80 and 100% pass mark. It is also important to note that the number of underperforming schools has decreased. This is thanks to intensified interventions undertaken by the DBE, by the provincial education departments, and their district teams to support schools in distress. Ladies and gentlemen, while the matric pass rate does not on its own tell us about the quality of education outcomes in our system, it is an important indicator for progress. To pass the NSC, learners are not only required to simply get 30% across all subjects, which is often misconceived to be the only requirement. Instead, they are required to get at least 40% in their home language and 2 other subjects, and at least 30% in 3 other subjects, and must pass 6 of their 7 subjects. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to announce that in 2024, over 615,000 learners passed the NSC exam more than any other time in our history. And here's the big one, perhaps you've been waiting for the whole night. South Africa's national pass rate for the 2024 National Senior Certificate has therefore increased from 82.9% in 2023 to 87.3% in 2024. This is the highest matric pass rate in the history of our country and should be a moment of great pride and celebration for us all. When we consider the number of learners that progressed from grade 10 to 12 and we have achieved a throughput rate of 63%. This is in line with other middle-income countries, and as I have indicated, there are many factors that impact on this rate, including, for example, subject changes, shifts to part-time candidature, and movements to TVET colleges. At a provincial level, I'm pleased to announce that every province improved on its performance from 2023, and listen to this, every province has achieved above 84% pass rate. The Free State is the best performing province, increasing its pass rate from 89% to 91%. Let's settle down. There's plenty of time to celebrate afterwards. KwaZulu-Natal at number 2 from 3 points. KwaZulu-Natal has obtained 89.5% matric pass rates. Number 3 is Gauteng with 85. Oh, sorry, wait. You see, you're disturbing me. Number 3 is Gauteng. It has increased from its pass rate of last year of 85.4% to 88.4% in 2024. And the Northwest comes in at number 4 and has obtained 87.5% of their pass rate. Next is the Western Cape, which comes in at 86.6%, an increase of 5% from the last year. The following 3 provinces have all received a rounded off pass rate of 85%. However, they are ranked according to the highest raw percentage points achieved. Limpopo comes at number 6, which is a 5% increase, sitting at 85.1%. Mpumalanga comes in at number 7, an increase of 8%, taking them to 84.9%. The Eastern Cape comes in at 8 with an increase of 3.6%, taking them to 84.98%. The MEC did say that 85% is possible, and indeed, MEC, 85% is possible. The Northern Cape is coming at number 9 with 84.2%. But I must add, it's also important to note that the Northern Cape is the most improved province. It has surged by 8.3% from last year. No-fee schools improved their pass rate from 81% last year to 85.8% in 2024. This too, guests and colleagues and ladies and gentlemen, is another sign that our schooling system is maturing. Our education districts have also made us very proud, and that's why we've got our district directors here in the room today, by improving on their performance from last year. Johannesburg West is the top performing education district with the pass rates. You won't hear the pass rates. Johannesburg West has received a 97% pass rates. And it is followed by Fezile Dabi Education District in the Free State at 93.5%. And it is followed by Umkhanyakude Education District in KZN at 92.8%. And now, guess it's even more reason for us to smile is the fact that 73 out of the 75 districts have obtained a pass mark higher than 80%. Ladies and gentlemen, our district directors deserve our praise and our thanks for the incredible work that they've been doing. You've played and continue to play a critical role in driving excellence in your respective districts. I must also single out the DG who's behind me, who has visited every single one of these districts to make sure that he's given them the support that they need. Mr. Mweli, your incredible efforts, sir, have not gone unnoticed. This indicates that our education system as a whole is moving in the right direction. Learners from quintiles 1 to 3 schools, which typically serve our poorest communities, have made significant gains, reflecting the success of initiatives such as the National School Nutrition Program, extra tuition support during school holidays. However, the performance gaps between the quintiles still remains a concern, and we must redouble our efforts to close it. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2024 has excelled against the odds. These young men and women are a source of inspiration to us, proving that excellence is possible regardless of circumstance. A special congratulations to our top achievers who join us here tonight. From rural schools and under-resourced areas, they exemplify this transformative power of education. These young Proteas continue to blossom and bloom in spite of the adversity they face. While we have many reasons to applaud and celebrate this evening, tomorrow we must look to the future with clarity and resolve. And there's an urgent and substantial work to be done to improve the quality of education outcomes that our schooling must achieve. As I noted during the release of the international benchmarking studies and our diagnostic reports last month, systematic improvements are required for long-term investment and planning. And I must share these with you briefly. Our strategy to reorientate the basic education sector towards foundational learning will strengthen our schooling system. Research consistently shows that investment in early learning yields the highest returns in terms of education outcomes. By prioritizing foundational literacy and numeracy in the early years, we will lay the groundwork for stronger performance in grade 4, in grade 10, and in grade 12. Program Director, I would like to conclude by sharing the following. As we chart the path forward in this regard, I've committed the Department of Basic Education and I to the following priorities as we are approaching the 2025 academic year. Number 1, expanding access to quality early child development. Universal access to quality ECD remains a central goal. We will continue with our mass registration to formalize ECD programs. We will align this with the national curriculum for ECD, supported by the newly developed learning and teaching material. And we will also prioritize the professional development of ECD practitioners and their integration into the basic education system. This is absolutely important. Number 2, improving teacher support and development, particularly in the foundation phase. Teachers are the backbone of our education system. We will intensify support for teacher training with a strategic focus of improving literacy and numeracy in the foundation phase. We will also make sure that the Funza Lushaka bursary scheme prioritizes students who wish to pursue careers in the foundation phase. Number 3, improving the post-provisioning of foundation phase. In 2025, we will be reviewing the post-provisioning norms as a matter of urgency to account, because these account for the drive to achieve universal access to quality in grade R and our strategic focus on improving reading and calculating in the foundation phase. Our norms have not been updated in over 20 years to determine how educator posts are distributed to public schools. Strengthening the curriculum in delivery for foundation phase, this will be a massive priority for us going forward. And finally, and certainly last but not least, protecting teaching and learning time. If we are to improve the quality of education outcomes, we need to protect teaching and learning time, ensuring that our teachers are at school, teaching for the entire day, for 230 days per year, to ensure adequate coverage of the curriculum. I would like to reiterate my call to the entire sector for us to work together to make sure that this happens. And so to the class of 2024, I say, you have proven that determination and hard work can overcome even the most formidable of challenges. As you embark on the next chapter of your lives, know that you carry the hopes and aspirations of an entire nation. To the basic education sector, including all our partners, I say, as we celebrate the achievements of the class of 2024, let us remember that the successes of our education system is not measured solely by statistics, but by the lives that have been transformed, the barriers that have been broken, and the futures that have been unlocked. To the people of South Africa, I say, let us recommit ourselves to working together to build a schooling system that leaves no learner behind and ensures that every child in South Africa has the opportunity to reach their full potential. I thank you. I thank you for entrusting me with the future of your children. Being able to serve you is the biggest honor of my life, and for that I'm eternally grateful. Intombi yasemawusheni ibamba ngazo zozibini ngokundamkela. Ndiyathembisa ukuba the oath of office I took to uphold the constitution of this country remains my guiding principle in delivering this important service, educating our nation so that we can rescue millions out of poverty and unemployment. I thank you. Ndiyabulela.
Government has taken steps to raise awareness around foodborne illnesses following several deaths, mostly of children of school-going age. Therefore, parents, guardians, and caregivers are urged to talk to their children about buying snacks from untrusted sources, to warn them about the health risks of picking up and consuming dumped foodstuffs, and not to consume sweets, chips, and other edibles from their friends or strangers. It is imperative that children are educated about not buying foodstuffs from any local spaza shops without a trusted adult's awareness. Children must also be educated about reporting any strange items that they may find in their foodstuffs. School communities are also urged to prioritize the safety of children as they make their way to and from school. During their breaks, schools are urged to be on the lookout for people who are selling items in and around school premises. One death is one too many. As a result, let's all work together to protect our children. And where possible, pack a lunchbox for your children yourself and urge them to avoid consuming potentially dangerous food items.
Applause, please, for our Minister of Basic Education, Siviwe Gwachube. So we've heard the pass rate. We are seeing the learners in their beautiful uniforms seated on the stage. I think it's time for the awards. How's about that? Let's see which province has really outshone the other, beyond what the minister has already said. All right, so we'll start then with our award and prize-giving ceremony. For Quintile 1, in third place, we've got Mandla Mthethwa School of Excellence, and that third place goes to Gift Mlambo. In second place, we've got Tufane Secondary School, Langwita Mokatse. And in first place, we've got Limpopo from Fatuwani Secondary, Patucheto Muzanani. Now, these are, of course, the top achievers that are currently on stage receiving their award from the Minister of Basic Education. In mathematics, in third place, we've got Limpopo with Sintumulele Secondary. And that goes to Buhlale Makura. In Mpumalanga, that is a second place, Mayflower Secondary School. That goes to Sbonisa Matebula. And in Limpopo, our first place goes to Limpopo with Mbilwi Secondary School, Wangoho Mudau. I sometimes get the feeling that these top achievers are the ones that will maybe correct a teacher here and there and tell them that they are wrong about something because they do so well. Another round of applause, please. For Quintile 2, we are looking at the third place, Eastern Cape, Tutanda Mese from Senior Secondary School. And that goes to Kwazi Sicheke. And in second place is Eastern Cape, Kolilizwe Secondary, Senior Secondary School. Limpopo takes first place for this one. That is Chivase Secondary School with Lalamani Maselesele. The next award is for technical maths. In third place, we've got Letulwazi Comprehensive School, Ronewa Nechitabadulu. Second place is KZN with Enanda Newtown Comprehensive, Olwethu Ntombela. In first place, it is the Gauteng province with Chipa Tabane Secondary School, goes to Stephen Lukele. This is, of course, for technical maths in Quintile 2. These are, of course, learners that have been to school every day, something that the DG often encourages, that learners go to school every day and that they do their homework, of course, as well. So really great to see the hard work that they've put in. In Quintile 3, in third place, we've got Panama Secondary School from Mpumalanga, Gugu Limbombo. Second place, Zimisele Secondary School, Msawenkosi Buthelezi from Gauteng. In first place, Zimele Secondary, Sibusiso Buthelezi from KwaZulu-Natal. Let's hear it for our top achievers. They do such great work, working very hard, making sure that their scripts are 300 out of 300. That is what these top achievers do. We will move right along. Physical Sciences, third place, in KZN, Mzamweni High School, Ngubeko Bekwa. Staying in KZN, in second place, Vugila High, Fanele Sibonge Ngema. And in first place, Physical Sciences in Gauteng, Jafta Mahlangu Secondary School, Tatenda Porosi. These are learners that could probably actually teach the subject that they've done so well in. Quintile 4 in third place, Northwest JM Ntsime School with Tobeka Langa. In second place, from Limpopo, Mbilwi Secondary School, Zumbululo Tondani. First place goes to the Northwest, Rustenburg High School, Yuri Blichnaut. We will move on to the technical science. A very excited Yuri Blichnaut. And a very tall Yuri Blichnaut. Let's move on to technical science. Third place goes to Mpumalanga, Alphaeus D. Nkosi Secondary School. The learner there is Siyabonga Hlatshwayo. In second place, Liolo High in Limpopo, Tabang Ritsuri. And in first place, Gauteng, Chiba Tabane Secondary School, Stephen Lukele. This is Stephen's second award. Congratulations to Stephen Lukele as he receives his second award. Very well done, Stephen, and congratulations. Quintile 5, in the third place, we've got Western Cape, Rondebosch Boys High School, Nicholas Schreiber. In second place, still in the Western Cape, Pinelands High School, Matthew Wise. And staying at Pinelands High School in the Western Cape, Ryan Ibrahim is in the first place. These are learners who have worked extremely hard to get to where they are today, and we wish them all the best for their years ahead. All right, you ready for the next one? South African Sign Language in third place, Gauteng, Philadelphia, Simpiwe Sombane. In second place, we are in the Western Cape with Delabat School, Johann Robenheimer. And in first place, KwaZulu-Natal taking this one, Kwatintwa School for the Deaf, Nolutando Mthembu. We've all learned this, that this is what we mean by clapping in sign language. Let's show Nolutando some love. Learners with special educational needs in third place, Gauteng, Nuwe Hoop School, Malwandla Baloyi. In second place, we've got Limpopo with Situtulwane Secondary, Given Malaka is the learner from that school. And in first place, we've got Ribone School for the Blind. Kabelo Kekana, please come up to the front. Now for 2024, ladies and gentlemen, something special was added to the category of awards. It is the Minister's Special Award, and this goes to learners who, as the Minister has said, the class of 2024 has really gone through some really difficult and challenging times. But this also goes to learners who have gone through some really adverse times as well, going through challenges after challenges after challenges, and these are the learners that then receive this particular award. We'll go to the Eastern Cape. Snetemba Gangata from Ngunga Secondary School is the first winner of this particular award. Congratulations to you, Snetemba Gangata. Please come to the front. Let's give him a round of applause. Now, Snetemba went through some really difficult challenges, and I'm sure we'll be able to share that at a later stage, and that's why he receives this particular award. And in Gauteng, Lesedi Secondary School, the learner there is Kagiso Tele, also going through some difficult challenges, receiving the Minister's Award. It is good to note, ladies and gentlemen, that when learners go through a difficult time, I remember when I was in high school, that the best person to go to is your teacher. And teachers have really become such a warm space for learners. So even with these learners, no matter the difficulties that they went to, they were able to go to their teachers, and the schooling community really supporting them. Our final Top Achievers Award category is the 2024 NSC National Top Learner. In KZN, congratulations to KZN, John Wesley Kosi Bay Private, it's an independent schools, Owe to Shangase. I'm going to request that MECs, if you may please approach the stage so that we can take a picture with all the learners as we announce them. All MECs, please. I see all 9 of them are here. So beautiful to see today, this evening. And they'll be able to to get their awards. So this is Owe Tushanga, so that is on stage with the Minister and the Deputy Minister and of course the CFO of MTN. A round of applause for Owe too. And in the Western Cape for the overall is Pinelands High School, Ryan Ibrahim. MECs, please approach the stage and we can take this photograph with the 2 learners. These are the overall learners for the NEC National Awards 2024. Can we also get the 2 premiers from Gauteng and from the Free State to come on stage as well? And our 2 ministers that are in our presence, please also come take this photo with our top achievers this evening. These are the overall top achievers, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give them another round of applause indeed. We, of course, have got Owe Tushangase, who's on stage, together with Ryan Ibrahim, the overall top learners. And we'll just take a quick photo, of course, with them on stage, with the Minister, the Deputy Minister, and the CFO of MTN South Africa. And, as I said, these are learners that are probably giving the teachers the answers, telling them that they might be incorrect here and there with certain marks and certain answers. The top achievers that are on stage at the moment. We will take the picture shortly, but before we do so, ladies and gentlemen, let me say thank you so much. That brings us to the end of our awards ceremony, but I would like indeed for the MECs to please approach the stage. Come closer, please, MECs, to the two premiers and their ministers that are joining us this evening. We've got MEC Mainir, we've got MEC Mavungulurulera Makanya, we've got MEC Dlamini. We also have all 9 MECs here tonight. This is very impressive. This is beautiful to see indeed, where all MECs are here. MEC Dr. Mabuya, MEC Foslu, MEC Gade, MEC Chelwane, MEC Viola Mutsumi, and of course, MEC Siphohlo Muka that is here too. We'll take this quick photo also just for an opportunity for the cameras in front here to be able to take this photo moment with the MECs, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, I just wonder as well the kind of support that these top achievers often receive from their families and their schools. This is very important for them to be able to receive the right kind of support, and that's why we are able to see them here today. It is pleasing indeed to see that they are able to get 300, most of them, 300 out of 300. You'd actually think that they actually did these scripts themselves. They wrote the paper themselves and created the paper themselves. Beautiful to see, and a huge congratulations to all our top achievers indeed. Another round of applause for our top achievers and the hard work that they have truly put in to the year of 2024. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you to you all. And so, ladies and gentlemen, as the distinguished guests move off stage, we have indeed come to the end of this award ceremony right here. And I would like to request the Director General of the department, Matanzima Mweli, to come to the podium to deliver his vote of thanks. DG, it's over to you.
Yeah, the celebrations have started. And it looks like they are going to go up to early hours of the morning. So I want to get out of the way so that people continue with their celebrations. Tsehu, let me start with you. You are an amazing program director. Let's give Tsehu a brilliant applause. Thank you. In the same vein, I want to thank the organizing committee of this event, led by Dr. Mthembu, the exam team, Mr. Mhlanga, everybody who was part of the organizing team. Let's give them a big hand of applause. I want to convey our greatest appreciation and thanks to our sponsors, partners. I'm not going to single them out. The list is very long, and I've been reliably informed that this creme de la creme, the cream of the crop, the class of 2024, they can't get, if you get, you can't buy. They've been given goodies, and those goodies exceed 100,000 rands. And part of these goodies is to make sure that they go to university, they go to school. Let's give our sponsors and our partners a big hand of applause. And we also want to appreciate Mureki, the breadwinner. I nearly said Kabu Yellows, I would get in trouble with Sundowns. They said to me this morning, they are the only yellow company. Let's give them a big hand of applause. We had initially planned for 500 people. The number exceeded 1,200. And my quick calculation, casting my eyes across the room, is probably around 1,200, 1,500. Let's give MTN a big hand of applause. Thank you for investing in education. And The last but not least, and maybe before, saying last but not least, I want to also convey our greatest appreciation and thanks to all our stakeholders, social partners, broader civil society, parents, officials of the department, leaders in our civil society, whether it's the clergy group, and all our entities that are here who are doing excellent work, the CEOs, sister departments. Government delivers as a cluster, not as individual department. This is the work of government, not DBE. Let's give government a big hand of applause. I also want to acknowledge the Deputy Minister, who's our sounding board all the time, our Minister who's been amazing in providing strategic direction in the department, and you've seen how eloquent she's even giving direction for 2025. And also to commend the President and Cabinet, who are ably led by our leadership in government. And I also want us to give the President, Cabinet, the Forum of Director General for supporting us in doing this work. Let's give them a big hand of applause. And lastly, the media, who played a very important role together with our interpreters. We are eternally grateful to all of you. Thank you to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, of course, to our Director General, Matanzima Mweli. It has been such an honor, ladies and gentlemen, for me to be your program director for this very special occasion, the result announcement for the National Senior Certificate Class of 2024. I will be on Power Weekend Breakfast on Saturday and Sunday. Please do drive safely. If you are going to be driving to various destinations tonight, please drive safely. Dinner will be served shortly, and of course, the ushers will show you where dinner will be served. From myself, Tsegohajo Moagi, have a beautiful evening. Good night.